Okay. So, a few different people have talked about systems. The running of a business so that it can, or creating an autopilot system for a business. Writing, so lots of different people have mentioned this, different organizations or groups or individuals, like writing down instructions and keeping good records. Having detailed instructions for each position and each job, each task, each item. And how to do everything. So that if somebody they could like literally pick up a how-to book on this or that and go. Or you could pick this up and transport it to anywhere in the U.S., in the world, wherever, and just go. To create a franchise, to have a turnkey business, ready to go, everything just set. So they've talked about this, and I've fought with ideas like this before. One of the ideas I fight is that you can't possibly account for everything. You can't plan for everything. And also, if you're looking at a piece of paper the whole time, you are you're gonna go too slow. That like give the horse his head. Let them figure it out type of thing. And that maybe, so for one thing, maybe I'm just fighting it too much and seeing I'm locking into it too much that I'm locking out. That you can write the instructions and they can choose to use them or not use them. They can not use them to start with and then use them later. They can not use them to start with and just not continue to not use them. They can use them to begin with and then slowly function without them or whatever. They don't have to use all the instructions. You can just write down instructions and go from there. And you don't have to have instructions for every little thing. And instructions could mean have this person train this person, or have this person work at this for so many weeks before he does this. Or it could mean it could just be like a list of tools that are useful for the project, or anything like that, or just an inventory of where things are. But basically, a lot of people have talked about that in order to make a business that works really well, whether you're going to do it just you, or whether it's going to be just you, whether it's going to be just a single location with you in charge of it, or just a single set of management with you in charge of it, or whether you are going to expand and franchise and try and have other people do what you're doing. That no matter what kind of business you're running, if you design, so if you're designing, if you want to do like a single, if you want to just be yourself, then still set it up like a franchise. If you want to be yourself with a small team, set it up like a franchise. If you want to be like a franchise across the country or across the world, set it up like a franchise. Meaning, set up everything to be standardized and set and organized and consistent and reliable, so that you can get it done every time without fail and all that stuff, so that it can run itself, so that you can leave the business and it can keep on going, so that you can go away on vacation and it doesn't fall apart, so that you can go to sleep and it still works, so that you can stop going to work and it keeps working, so that you can sell the business to someone else and it works for them, to get it so that it works without you. Yeah, and in some ways that feels sad and that feels scary, but in other ways that's the only way that it's going to be wildly successful, or that's a very good strategy for it to become successful. So in thinking of this idea of making it work without you, replacing yourself, or making it, setting up training methods and instructions and things like that, so that someone else can run it and without you doing anything, then I was thinking a lot. This can be an incredibly, okay, it doesn't have to be, but this could be a hard thing for people to do. It's a hard thing for me to do, and just that is a service that process is useful in many different ways, many different forms, many different places, and that service is being supplied in some ways. That service is being supplied by usually in the form of, we will counsel, we will assist, we will fund, we will invest to help you develop your team and your strategy and your things. Or we will buy this piece and that piece of your idea and we will make our business. Things like that. But what about, oh man, okay. What about creating a team that routinely builds franchises? So like you have a production company that makes movies, or makes parts out of metal, or makes pharmaceutical products, or makes food, or raises cattle, or something like that. They all these different companies that make stuff. So what if you build companies? So what if you had a team of, like, say, teenagers? So like you could have you could have all these different kinds of teams. You could have a team of teenagers, a team of older adults, younger adults, women, men, working moms, dads, so scared. Okay. Yeah. Etc. And that, what if, so someone comes to you with an idea and they commission you to develop this idea. So you have an office of some kind, or you have a restaurant or something. A restaurant comes to you and says, "Hey, we are having pretty good success with our business here. We would like to create a franchise out of it." And so your business, or this business, would come in, the franchising business would come in and do an analysis of the business as it is, how it's running, who does what, how people learn what failings there are, what strengths there are, what supports there are, etc. So especially the parts that would be hard to replicate. So is there any part in the business where someone goes above and beyond? So, okay, I like going above and beyond, and I like people who go above and beyond. But is there any point where people are doing things that are not likely to be replicated? So, is someone putting in many more hours? Is someone putting in overtime regularly? Is that something that you think you can? Do you think you can find employees in many places that will regularly want, or regularly willingly take overtime every single week? Is there anyone that isn't taking vacation? Is there anyone that is doing several unrelated tasks, and then analysis of, is that something we think we can replicate? Is that something we think we can't replicate? Or, and then also just studies of, like, is that something that is that a phenomenon that, is there a phenomenon that we don't understand that is causing this? Wait a second. I'm on south. For example, is the janitor doing the books? And that might not seem to make sense from the start, but is there something that we aren't catching that actually makes that seem like that makes that make a lot of sense? So just basically, so like creating plays. So like a basketball team that you have different positions. So like imagine you have a new sport. You're creating a new sport, and there aren't any positions already set. There's no rules as to who can go where or who can do what. The only rule is make points, and then you also have to figure out what points are. And so you go through and you figure out, hey, it works good if we have someone do this and do this and do this and do this. and someone else do this and this and this and this. And we'll give this person a name. We'll give this person the name of manager, and this person the name of janitor, and this person the name of cook, and this person the name of what's another name? So cook, janitor, accountant, door greeter, that all these different jobs, and then we look around and we say, oh, well, if they're doing this and this and this, then maybe we could also have them do this, and that would be a good combo. And we look at, oh, they're doing this, 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 and this, so we should probably look for people who can do this, this, and this, and we can identify and we can identify these people by saying by asking them these questions, or by these probation periods, or these tests, or this work experience, or looking for them in these industries, or etc. So like looking for people that know about cars at auto shops, high school auto shops, and also auto shops, high school auto shops, and auto parts stores. We can look for people that know about computers by looking for people that play video games, or work at Best Buy, or whatever, or have worked at Best Buy. Yeah. And what about a business where it franchises businesses? So you, a business owner, have a restaurant, or a law firm, or a dentistry, or this or that, a school, a tutoring thing, a contracting business, a clothing apparel shop, and you want to expand, or you just want to improve, and so you would hire this business and they would have their own employees that would almost be like actors. They're like engineers, and so you go your team goes in and tries to get the feel of the business, and then also has forms of standardizing. So off the bat type stuff, like instantly say, oh, we're gonna outsource this, outsource this, outsource this, outsource this, outsource this, automatically. Hire these people from these places, hire these people from these places. Having like standard types of employees, like entry level, skilled, on the job training, etc. What certificates, and then having standard certificates and licenses and stuff, both for the business and employees, and then standardizing those systems as the business, so that they can quickly get the business running up with these things. So like standardizing videos for trainings, so like safety videos, and forklift training, and machine operation, and management and stuff, so that you can create these videos so that people can quickly get running, so that you can bring in the whole restaurant, the whole staff, have them sit down for, I don't know, 30 minutes, watch a video, and then say, okay, we had our training. So you all had your training on food handling, or on workplace safety, or this or that. And then you could also find things that are better to be outsourced, like, are you going to rent this, or are you going to buy this, or are you going to have an outside source do first aid training and CPR. Yeah. So this business standardizes the standardizing of businesses. And then, so at first my thought was, well, if I have a business like this, then people will get lazy and they won't have the joy and fun of creating a business themselves this way. So maybe, but first of all, they'd be doing it. They'd be moving forward and they'd be doing it, and they'd see the results. And so maybe the next time they do it, they can do it themselves. Also, maybe in doing it, they will learn a lot on the way, and it'll be like they're doing it, and at least they will actually succeed this way. Also, maybe if people see how successful this is, and see that someone actually does it for a price, that maybe they'll go out and say, hey, I don't want to pay $1 million, or I don't want to pay 10% of the next 5 years, or I don't want to do this or that. I don't want to pay. I'll just do it myself. But then at least they'll see the goal and they'll shoot for it, and they'll have something to copy and something to follow. Yeah. So I'm almost rooting for people to copy. I am rooting for people to copy this idea. Yeah. I just think that'd be a cool idea. So, I mean, like, there's the idea, or no, the story, and it's in the movie, but I've heard other versions of it in other places. But in the movie on Ray Kroc, the McDonald brothers draw the whole restaurant. They draw the floor plan of the restaurant that they want to have in chalk on the ground, and then they have, like, I don't know, 18 teenagers or something like that come in and mime or choreograph how they operate in the restaurant, how they move, how they handle, how they grab, how they switch, what signs to look for, what lingo to use, checking everything with stopwatches and writing notes, giving things specific names, having names for maneuvers, having names for positions, having names for employees, having names for machines and items, etc. And yeah. So yeah. So someone would hire you, and you could do various levels, and then also to have a qualifying a set of qualifications to even work with this business. So, like, some qualifications might be that you failed miserably, you went bankrupt. that might be a good qualification so that someone can see it's not working my way. I need to listen to somebody and I need to try something else. Or a qualification might be a set of things that they are looking for that include this thing, and specifically excluding certain things that they're looking, that they're not, that they, to exclude certain things that they would be looking for. So if they're looking to have order in their business and be able to step back and let the business run itself, that might be a good person to work with. But if they are complaining about nobody doing what they say and they constantly having to step in and fix everything, and that the business would fall apart without them, and that they can't ever leave to go on vacation or anything because they have to do everything, that person is not ready to use the business. So you could have some classes and things to help people get ready, or maybe to at least plant some seeds of ideas so that maybe later they can start to pick up these ideas and see, oh, people don't do this because I keep taking over, or the business doesn't function well because I'm micromanaging, or this runs okay. This might be cheaper than hiring someone else to do it, but I'm putting in so many hours that if I had to pay myself to do this, we'd be losing money. And maybe it would be better to hire it out. Or maybe it would be better to do this myself. Or I need to focus more on training and not so much on doing. Or I need to demonstrate humility, or this or that. To just start planting seeds and ideas like that, so that maybe later the person, the business owner or the business or the CEO or whatever, would be ready to develop it into that kind of a business, ready to take those steps. Yeah. Yeah, and just that, I mean, so it's a huge process, but to develop everything, the choreography, the management, the legal things, the marketing, the advertising, the branding, the training, the customer relationships, the policies, the instructions, the floor plans. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So, bye-bye.